Have you ever wondered why so many artists are frustrated with Instagram? That platform, which was once a perfect place to share art and connect with other creators, now feels like a giant maze where visibility depends on luck, funny dances, or posts that follow the latest trends. Today, we'll dive into what's really happening with Instagram's algorithm and why it's becoming an increasing obstacle for those who make a living from art or simply want to share their creations. So stick around, because this conversation promises to be revealing. By the way, if you're tired of drawing and feeling like nothing is improving, pay attention. Marc Brunet's art school for digital artists was what pulled my drawings out of stagnation and gave me an insane boost. It's like going through an art school, but for a fraction of the price and only with what really matters: perspective, anatomy, color, composition, and much more, all explained step by step, from beginner to advanced. It is, by far, the best and most complete art course on the market. Don't waste time stuck at the same level. The link's in the description. Check it out now. Let's get back to the video. You know, when Instagram first appeared, it was almost a paradise for artists. Things were simpler, without so many invisible rules. You'd post a photo of your work, and with some luck, you'd get that direct and genuine recognition without having to perform acrobatics to grab attention. But now, things seem to have changed. The chronological feed is gone, replaced by a system where what shows up on your timeline doesn't just depend on when it was posted, but on a series of criteria that often seem mysterious and most of the time unfavorable for those starting out or those who aren't part of the platform's favorites. And let's be real. Reels and short videos are the algorithm's darlings, right? That artist who used to focus on posting their paintings, illustrations, sculptures, now feels almost forced to learn how to edit videos, to create content that is, above all, engaging, if they want to keep being seen. It's as if Instagram is saying, "Want to be noticed? Then play our game." And if you don't play, well, your posts slowly fade into obscurity, buried deep in the feed. It's not just nostalgia for simpler times. The change in the algorithm has a real impact on many artists' lives. Just imagine, you have an art business, you sell your illustrations or do commission work. For a while, Instagram was your main showcase. But suddenly, you notice your reach has dropped, that your posts aren't reaching those who've always followed your work. And then comes the frustration, the feeling of shouting into a megaphone that no one hears, and worst of all, seeing that while you're posting your art, the 15-second videos are what's getting attention. And why is this happening? Well, that's where Instagram's own interests come in. Today, Instagram wants to compete directly with other social networks focused on short videos, like TikTok. The goal is clear: to keep people scrolling for longer, grabbing their attention. And what's the best way to do that? Quick, dynamic videos that grab attention in the first few seconds. For the platform, this means more screen time and, of course, more money from advertisers. But for the artists who have always used the platform as a digital gallery, it means having to adapt to a new reality that often doesn't reflect the essence of what they do. And at this point, it's important to remember one thing. Art takes time. A painting, a sculpture, an animation, all of these require dedication, care, and patience. But what does the algorithm value? Content that is quick and easy to consume. This ends up devaluing, even indirectly, the time and effort that artists put into their work. And more than that, it creates an environment where superficiality is rewarded. If before, followers engaged with the artist's journey, with the creative process, now you need to create something that grabs attention in seconds, or else it's game over. And maybe you're thinking, well, can't you adapt? Can't you make art into videos too? Sure, some can. And many artists are doing their best, creating process videos, showing each brushstroke, each detail of the creation. But honestly, that shouldn't be a requirement. If you're a painter, sculptor, or illustrator, you should be able to use the platform to showcase your work in a way that makes sense for you, without having to follow a formula that, in the end, has nothing to do with your art. But look, it's not just a matter of format. There's also the issue of monetization. While other platforms offer clear financial incentive programs for creators, Instagram has always fallen short in that regard. You can make money through partnerships or selling your products directly, but unlike YouTube, for example, there's no direct support for earning money just from the content you post. This forces many artists to seek alternatives outside of Instagram, migrating to other networks or creating their own websites to try for a bit more independence. So it begs the question, is it worth continuing to invest so much time and energy in a platform that seems more interested in copying TikTok than in valuing the unique content that artists have to offer? More and more, we see artists exploring other ways to showcase their work, whether on platforms that value visual arts more, or even on new social networks that are emerging aimed specifically at creators. But despite all the challenges, the truth is that Instagram is still one of the biggest showcases in the world. It has millions of users, and many opportunities can arise there. But that doesn't mean we have to accept everything gladly. It's important to remember that social networks are made for us, not the other way around. If artists start questioning, uniting, pointing out what isn't working, things can change. And it's not just about nostalgia or wanting the chronological feedback. It's about creating a fairer environment where every type of creation has its place. So, if you're an artist feeling this frustration, know that you're not alone. Many are in the same boat trying to figure out this algorithm that feels more like a riddle. The tip is, keep doing what you love. Use the platform in a way that makes sense to you, but don't be afraid to explore other possibilities. In the end, your art is much bigger than any algorithm, and it will always find a way to reach the people who truly value what you do. If this video helped you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next ones. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to check the description. There are several important links that can help you even more. See you in the next video.